I think the last two games it could have went either way. I think that game 3 should have went Denver's way, and I think game 4 should have went Portland's way. But that just kind of tells you the story about how close these teams are. Um, it's awesome. This is a great series. I don't know. The one thing I want to say about this is this Denver Nuggets team. It just reminds me so much of the 60 wins Hawks team. They
Yeah.
struggle. They struggle all the way up until everyone says they're such a good team, such a good team. I think the Hawks team was talked about way. The Hawks team was talked about way more than this team.
Yeah, well, they were the 1 seed. I mean,
They were
clear far away the 1 seed.
they were so much better than this team. But this is kind of what it reminds me of. And they're just like they have all this talent, but they just they struggled once they got into the conference, into the playoffs, and the Hawks had their different issues. I mean, the Hawks would have won the NBA championship if it wasn't for the NYPD breaking Thabo Sefolosha's leg, but that's not for here nor there. But I don't know. I don't know. Gary Harris just does some stuff every night, and then you do Jamal Murray. It's just, I don't know. It's just a weird team with this Nuggets team.
What I was worried about the Nuggets, this is why I thought the Nuggets would lose to the Spurs. There is something to be said about experience. You know what the Warriors did before they won the championship? They got shut down by the Clippers with Chris Paul. Because Chris Paul had been there. He didn't win, but he played in important playoff games. So they got shut down by them. They didn't have the experience. They learned from their lesson, and then they came back and they became the greatest team. Now, of course, they did other moves, different things like that. But this is kind of the same thing. It's like, look, the Nuggets, they've never been to the playoffs. These guys haven't played in these games. Because as we've seen, I think James Harden shot less than 10 free throws tonight. You don't get all the calls you want. The game's a little faster paced. The game's a little bit harder. The defense is a little bit tighter. You got to adjust to it. And if they lose out to the Trailblazers this year, then they'll be ready for next year. And I think they'll be a force to be reckoned with.
What you were saying about the Nuggets being a factor against them, I think that's been a factor that's helped the Portland Trailblazers. Alfred Aminu,
And his
Cantor. All the other guys.
Who's somehow able to play with his shoulder separated, which is incredible. You can see how much it hurts every night, and he still is a monster.
I don't want to leave my boy Mo Harkless out, but yeah, the Portland Blazers, I think that's one thing that's really helped them. They've been in the playoffs, the last 3 years. They've
some close series.
They played a lot of very close series, and they really want this, and they're playing really hard. I really like this Portland team. I think they're so hard. I think they have the best home court advantage in the playoffs.
I
don't know.
They're a tough team.
They're tough. I mean, Denver's really tough, and I don't know, but Denver's came through adversity. That they went through all that shit against San Antonio. San Antonio, they're like hearing about it's Popovich, it's San Antonio. You're not going to beat them. They're the best dynasty in the last 20 years. I mean, it's tough. They've done it though. They've overcome, and they keep hanging in there. So maybe, who knows? Maybe this is a team. I know you're saying they don't have the experience, but I wouldn't be surprised. They keep hanging in there. They find ways to win, and they're still there. They're still there.
Yeah, I mean, it's clear that they have some exciting pieces. Malik Morris, a guy off the bench for them that's been great all year and has been pretty good in these playoffs. Plus, they got, Jokic really is coming into his own, and it'll be exciting because you can kind of tell that Embiid, Giannis, Jokic, those guys are going to be around. They're going to be doing things in the playoffs for the next couple of years to come. That's always just exciting.
They have a playoff experience guy in Paul Millsap.
Yeah, they do. I mean,
he's been there his whole career.
Problem is, he's the only playoff experience guy.
He knows what they're doing. He calms down the team. He doesn't have to be the best guy. I mean, he's a really good player. I don't know. They still got him. They got the guys.
He'll be a great veteran presence. If I'm saying they can, of course they can win against the Trailblazers. It's tied up right now. It's been a close series. If they don't want to get into the Trailblazers, it's a great lesson for them, and it'll be great for them next year.
I somewhat agree. I just don't know if they're going to continue to get better.
Yeah, we'll see.
I think really Jokic will continue to get better. I just don't.
I do.
Jamal Murray will be there. Gary Harris will be okay.
I think Jokic will continue to get better. I think he's still adjusting.
You lose Paul Millsap eventually.
That's tough.
And then you don't have a true point guard, and I don't know. It's hard. It's hard for Denver. They're a good team, but I don't know. They kind of remind me of Utah.
Yeah. Well, I think the difference is at least theirs is a little more. It's not really dependent on one person shooting, which is always a good thing.
I mean, at least Utah has Donovan Mitchell, who's going to keep improving. And you can add another. I don't know. I don't know.
But same with Utah.
I think Utah
if he doesn't shoot, they lose. You know.
I agree. That's what I'm saying. They're in the same kind of boat. But we're not talking about. We're not talking about next week. Let's talk about right now. Who we picking? Who we finishing? Who we finishing with? Portland or Denver?
I'll go ahead and tell you what's going to happen. Portland's gonna win this. Warriors are going to win. Portland's going to beat them to go to the finals. Philly's beating Toronto. Bucks are beating Philly. Bucks win the national championship.
National championship?
Or the world championship. The NBA finals.
First off, the Bucks aren't even making it to the Eastern. Or not even making it to the NBA finals. It's going to be Toronto versus... God, I don't want to say Golden State. It's Golden State. Golden State's winning it.
That's a safe pick.
It's not a safe pick. It's the right pick. I wanted to pick Portland, and it's not going to be Portland. Portland's going to win that round. They just can't do it. They can't. They're not good enough.
We'll see.
All right. Anything else you want to say about basketball?
That's it for me.
All right. Let's talk some hockey. We just wrapped it up. Colorado just forced a Game 7. The Bruins, they're going through to the Eastern Conference Finals to play the Hurricanes. So, Western Conference, we got 2 Game 7s. Stars and the Blues, Game 7. Sharks and the Avalanche, Game 7. Matt, he's our expert hockey analyst. He's going to lead us. Let's go, Matt.
All right, so Carolina swept the Islanders, and they're playing the Boston Bruins. And I want to say this Boston team looks pretty formidable, but Carolina taking out the former champs and the Capitals, and now they get a sweep, and they have some time off. Do you think that gets advantage against Boston?
I think Boston's a better team than Carolina. I mean, Carolina's proved everyone wrong all year, so I mean, you can't count Carolina out. The Hurricanes are playing their ass off. First off, I respect the Hurricanes. I'm all for the Hurricanes. I'm rooting for the Hurricanes. I'm not a big Boston sports guy, as many people probably know. What else was I supposed to answer?
Do you think Carolina has a chance against Boston?
100% they have a chance. I think Boston's a favorite. But I do think the Hurricanes have a chance for sure. You take out the Capitals round 1, then you sweep the Islanders. Yeah, you got a chance. You're in the Eastern Conference Finals. You're not just sitting there, not ready to play.
All right. Now Stars versus Blues, Game 7 tomorrow night. So you're a Stars fan, as we know, and as we know, I'm not super well versed on hockey, so I don't know everything. I just wonder, when was the last time the Stars played a Game 7?
I have no idea.
It's 3 years ago against the Blues. What was the outcome of that game?
The Blues won. I do remember this, yeah.
3 years ago, the Blues won 4-1 in a game. No, not 4-1. I think it was 3-1 in a Game 7. Does it favor the Blues? They have 9 players from that team. The Stars have 5.
I don't even want to take history. I don't want to even talk about history. I mean, you're in St. Louis. It obviously favors the Blues.
Well, I was going to
You can't lose Game 6 at home.
St. Louis is a road team. They've been winning on the road. Do you think it's going to trouble them playing at home?
First off, Game 7, anything can happen.
Anything can happen.
I want to say my Stars are going to win because I saw what happened in Game 6. I saw that dirty-ass play. They shot the slap shot. It hit my goalie in the neck. And they shot when he was down. They said, we'll make it 3-1. It was a 1-goal game. They shot while the goalie was down after he got hit in the throat. It was the most disrespectful thing in the world. If the hockey gods had any respect for themselves, the Blues will get their ass kicked in St. Louis. They'll be embarrassed. They don't. That was the most disrespectful thing I've ever seen.
Now, Ben Bishop said he's ready. He said he's ready for Game 7. He's good. Mm-hmm. Do you think he's going to be, if he's not 100%, do you still think that he'll be able to keep the puck out of the net?
Yeah, we have the hockey gods on our side. It's going to be 7-0 Stars. It's going to be the most disrespectful, embarrassing game in hockey. And that's what happens when you fucking play like that shit. It's bullshit. What they did was the most disrespectful thing I've ever seen in hockey.
All right, and then so the Avalanche in overtime get a goal to force the Sharks to a Game 7. Do you think the Avalanche, with that overtime goal, they kind of to stave off elimination, do you think they used up all their magic tonight, or do you think they have a chance to win Game 7?
They definitely didn't use up all the magic, but I do think the Sharks are a better team. I think the Avalanche are young. I like the Avalanche a lot. I just think they're a little young. The Sharks have experience. They were in the Stanley Cup Finals probably 2-3 years ago. But the Avalanche are still young. They'll be back. 100% believe that. It's going to be Joe Thornton. It's going to be the Sharks. They're going to win Game 7. It's going to be Sharks, Stars, Western Conference Finals. It's going to be Stars versus the Bruins in the Stanley Cup Finals.
All right. And if you, as a Stars fan, who would you rather see?
Who would I rather see from the Eastern Conference? Or from the West?
No, from the Sharks and the Avalanche.
I mean, they're both really good teams. I think probably the Avalanche. The Sharks have just been there. They've been there. Obviously. I mean, it doesn't matter. They're both very, very talented teams.
All right. And also, do you think there's a curse on the Carolina, on the Hurricanes, because they ended Ovi's defense of the cup?
We were talking about this a little earlier. No, there's no curse. Ovi passed it on to he respected the Hurricanes when they beat him. He said, hey, you kicked their ass. Now I'm passing it on to you. Now you're supposed to be the champion. I think the Hurricanes have the best advantage, honestly, because of that.
Do you think Ovechkin is going to be more or less drunk than he was last offseason?
Way less.
Way less.
1,000,000 times less.
Right.
I don't even know what hockey player would be the most drunk. All right, that's what I'm most excited about. We got to follow what hockey players would be the most. It's probably Joe Thornton.
Your guess is as good as mine.
Maybe Brad Marchand. I don't know.
Are there any other hockey things you want to get out there? You want the people to know?
Fuck the Bruins. First off, I hope they lose. It would have been really weird to see the Blue Jackets versus the Carolina Hurricanes in the Eastern Conference Finals. That'd probably be a very low-rated hockey conference finals, just because of obvious reasons. They're both small markets, and I would love to have seen it, but as a fan. But I mean, it's just you don't want to see that as a.
I mean, it was almost the Winnipeg Jets versus the Bolts last year, so.
That's true. Worse. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, the Winnipeg Jets will at least get Canada.
Yeah.
Bolts are a really good team. Hockey fans respect the Bolts. But, I don't know. Do I have anything else to say? No, I don't have anything to say. Stars are going to kick the shit out of the Blues tomorrow. I can't wait for that. That's fucking... What they did is bullshit. They know it. It was the most disrespectful thing I've ever seen. They're in the locker room pissing their pants right now because they know they messed up and they're assholes. And no one in the hockey likes them.
All right, I unanimously agree with all of your hockey takes.
Did you see the slap shot to the throat and they just scored after that?
I didn't.
No, well, man, I wanted you to have a take on it.
I'm sorry. I guess I should have been caught up more on it. But I have a lot of basketball takes, a lot of NBA takes. This is my time. I watch NBA all the time.
All right. Well, I guess that's all hockey. Game 7 tomorrow. I'll drop some reaction videos. I'll be drinking. I'll be having fun. We'll talk about it. I'll be wearing the Brett Hull